All right, so now we're looking at Chapter 10, Section 5, which is angle relationships in circles. So we know two relationships already. We know central angles are equal to their arcs, and we know inscribed angles are equal to half. So if we look at two scenarios we already know, we know central angles are equal to their arcs. So a central angle is equal to the arc. So the angle equals the arc. And we also know an inscribed angle. So the inscribed angle is half the arc. The angle is half the arc. We have two more scenarios. All right, so we're going to look at when a chord intersects a tangent or another chord and what relationship exists between the angles that are formed. So here we have the central angle, which is equal to the arc. And let me get this to write a little skinnier. So in this case, angle XOY is equal to arc XY. Then we have our inscribed angle. So we have an inscribed angle where the angle is on the edge of the circle, and here's the arc. So it's equal to half the arc. So in this case, angle WTY is equal to, oh, that's a V, sorry, WTV. Let me rewrite that. So WTV is equal to half of the measure of arc WV. So the new one we're going to look at is when the chords intersect inside the circle. So now we're inside. So what you're going to do is, for example, the measure of this angle right here, which is equal to this angle right here because those two are vertical. So they're going to be the same no matter what you do. So what you're going to do is you're going to add the two arcs. Let me change colors. So you're going to add the two arcs together and take half. So the measure of the angle is equal to half of arc 1 plus arc 2. So we'll call this 1 and this 2. So here, looking at it with some letters, if I wanted to find this angle right here, then I would say the measure of angle AED, so AED is equal to half the measure of arc AD plus BC. So you add them and take half, and that will be that arc. Then if you're intersecting outside the circle, so this is a really bad picture. So this angle is outside, so you have this angle out here, so you're going to take this little arc and this big arc. So basically when you draw the edges of your angle, the arcs that are between are the two that you're going to use. In this case, it's going to be half of the big arc minus the little arc. So you always want to put the big arc first. So we use it with a picture that you can actually see. If we're looking for angle ACE, so this angle here, so ACE, it is the measure of the big arc, AE, minus the little arc, BD. So those are your two new scenarios. So this was in 10.3, this one was 10.4, and then these two are 10.5. So circle the vertex. All right. So if we're going to circle the vertex here, where's the vertex located? Center of the circle, on the circle, or inside the circle, but not at the center or the outside of the circle. So those are your 4 choices. So we see that this one is on the circle. So if we're looking for on the circle is inscribed. So the angle is half the arc. So what is the measure of angle ABC? So A to B to C. So we're looking for this angle right here. So we know that this angle is 70. Well, if this angle is 70, we know these 2 angles make a line, which makes them a linear pair. And a linear pair has 180 degrees minus 70, so that's 110. So this angle is 110 degrees. So we're using a lot of stuff from last semester. So the measure of arc AB, so that's this arc here. So remember, the arc is always double the angle. So when you're going back out, the angle 2 times the angle is equal to the arc. So 2 times 70 is equal to 140. So this arc is 140 degrees. So arc AB is 140 degrees. Now, AEB, which is our major arc, so if we look at arc AEB, so A to E around to B, so this is going to be 360 minus the little arc, so 220. So this arc is 220 degrees. So now we have all of this. So we're going to have to take the information that's given. So the measure of arc ADB, so A to D around to B, is 220 degrees. So that means the rest of the circle, which would be this piece from A to B, is 140. Because remember, they have to add up to 360. And then they tell us that the measure of angle ABD, so this angle here, is 21, which means this arc is 42. So the measure of arc AB, which we already figured that out, is 140. And then the measure of angle ACB. So A to C to B. So let me highlight that. So A to C to B. So notice it's outside. So since it's outside the circle, then we have to use the formula. The angle is, oh goodness, that's not what I meant. The angle is half of the big arc minus the little arc. So the angle is half. So if you're looking at how it stretches across, here's the big arc, 140, minus the little arc, which is this little piece right here, which we figured to be 42. So the angle is half. So 140 minus 42 is 98. Half of 98 is 49. So this angle is 49 degrees. So this little angle out here is 49. So always identify where it's at. Is it inside, outside, or on? All right, so now we're looking for this angle right here. So that means this arc and this arc. Since it's inside and not the center, then the angle is equal to half of arc 1 plus arc 2. So our angle is equal to half, add the two arcs together, 50 plus 92. So 50 and 92 are 142. So the angle is half of 142, and half of 142 is 71 degrees. So this angle is 71, which means so is this one. But what about this angle? We know these two make a linear pair because this chord is a line segment, so it still adds up to 180. So 180 minus 71 is 109. So angle Y is 109. So this here would be 109, and this here is also 109. All right. So we know that, I'm going to change this to the highlighter. We know that this arc and this arc, so if you were to trace them edge to edge, we're looking at that part of the circle. So that means we're looking for this angle right here. So we'll call this, let's just call this B. So we're looking for B. We know that the angle is equal to half of the two arcs added together. So 97 plus 35 is 132. So half of 132 is 66. So this angle is 66 degrees. So we know these two have to add up to 180. So 180 minus 66. So this angle is 114. So if this angle right here is 114, then this one right here is equal to that because they're vertical. So 5x plus 14 equals 114. 5x equals 100 because we're subtracting 14 from both sides. Divide by 5. X is 20. Okay, our next scenario is when we intersect outside. So this is the angle. So trace out the edges of your angle so you can see what two arcs are between the sides. So we're looking at this arc and this arc. And the rule is the angle is equal to, because we're outside, half big arc minus little arc. So the angle is 38. The big arc is x. And the little arc is 72. So what we're going to do here is I don't want to take half of x. So what I'm going to do is multiply by 2. So if I multiply by 2, it'll cancel. But I got to multiply this side by 2. So 38 times 2 is 76. So 76 is equal to x minus 72. Now add 72 to both sides. And we get 148 is equal to x. So this arc is 148 degrees. So again, no matter what you do, if it's outside, follow the pattern. Just follow the pattern and plug everything in. The angle is equal to half of the big arc minus the little arc. Well, what is our angle? It is 28. So it's equal to half the big arc. So if you're not sure, trace your angle so you can see which two arcs are between So the big arc, this one here, so 4x plus 8 minus the little arc, which is 3x plus 2. And since we have a minus sign, make sure you keep those parentheses so you can distribute the negative sign. Because you don't want to just subtract 3x, you want to subtract both pieces. So 28 is equal to half 4x plus 8 minus 3x minus 2 if you want to distribute. So now 28 is equal to half 4x minus 3x is x, 8 minus 2 is 6. So now I'm kind of back where I started over here. So we're going to go ahead and multiply by 2 so we can cancel that out. So 56 is equal to x plus 6. Subtract the 6 from both sides and you get that x is 50. So if you were to take the 50 and plug it in, 4 times 50 plus 8, 3 times 50 plus 2, you would actually be able to get the measure of the arcs. And that is it for outside and inside the circle. Just make sure that you're using these rules. And that is it.